I would like to know what each of you believe to be the scariest element of the original Exorcist and how you aimed to honor that in Believer.
Well, for me, it's a little vague. But what terrifies me about the original Exorcist is the ambiguity. Is that there's not something to point to. There's not it's not good guy versus bad guy. It's something uncertain that has infected your child, and I think it's the lack of diagnosis that carries my stomach through that thrill ride. And so what we're trying to do here too is emulate that to some degree, is not give everybody every answer for every question that they have. Make it as applicable and relatable as you can, and then make it a movie about parenthood and about the unknown.
Yeah, and I would say that the reason the first Exorcist movie was so successful is at the time it felt tonally like a big shift from other horror movies because it felt like it was documenting this real thing.
How old are you?
12.
Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
And I think that's why it was so unsettling to so many people. And I think, to answer your question, what I hoped David would bring to the Believer, which I think that he did bring, was that same feeling of like, I'm not watching a horror movie, I'm watching a true story. And I think that's more than anything else. When people ask me all the time, what's the scariest thing ever you can have in a movie? And the scariest thing ever you can have in a movie is that the scares are relatable. They feel like they could really happen. And I think that's what the two movies share.
You start speaking what the Spirit says to you.
What does the Spirit say to you?
Ellen Burstyn comes back after 50 years to play Chris MacNeil in this movie. What was it about Believer that convinced her to come back? And was there ever a version of this movie that existed without her character as part of it?
There was definitely a part of the movie that existed without her because when we embarked to do the movie, she hadn't agreed to do it yet, and she was resistant in the beginning. And I think I'm very grateful to David, who met with her a series of times and got her more and more comfortable with the part.
Yeah, it's just about trust. It's about not going into a room with an icon and saying, "Here I am to stake my claim." This is, I go in there very open and saying, "This is a collaboration. We're bringing your character back after 50 years, and I want it to be done respectfully within the integrity of the franchise, and bring her into that, and make it as meaningful to her as the overall movie is to me." And so it was in some ways bringing her own real life and real experience. We would just share books and conversation and gain each other's trust, and then thought, why the hell not? Let's dive back into something that was so meaningful to not just movie-going culture, but I think culture in general and spiritual conversation 50 years ago. And we'll never be that world again. Culture's evolved, movies have evolved, technology, everything. But we can still try to make something that's extraordinarily entertaining, but have a conversation about it afterwards. And I think we fell into sync on that ambition.
Where's the other girl?
She's waiting for you.